I was inspired by a conversation I was having with a friend yesterday. And we were talking about how her life over the last couple years has really been thrown into like square one, if you will. Just loss and upheaval and decisions that she's had to make that have led her into a space where she is having to recreate herself and recreate her life to some degree. And so something that she said just kind of stuck with me, and she says, I don't want to. And it came while I was laying in bed last night. I was thinking about it, and it made me think of now this is a simplistic example, but I want to invite you to sort of visualize it of a kid who just built this sandcastle. So they took all their time and their attention and their energy, and they made this beautiful sandcastle, and they feel so proud of it and so honored by it, and they want to show everyone too. They can't wait for everyone to see what they've done, and their brother comes along and stomps on the castle. Stomps on it, wrecks it. It's just sand now. It doesn't look anything like what she created. And she's upset, obviously. And this little girl goes to her mom and she says, I made this beautiful castle and he wrecked it. He just came and wrecked it, and he took it. Now I don't have it. Now I can't show you. Now it's gone. And her mom says, it's all right. Just rebuild it. It's not a big deal. Just rebuild it. What's the problem? And this little girl says, but I don't wanna. Because she doesn't. She doesn't want to rebuild the castle that she just took her whole day to build, that she put all her time and energy and effort and attention and focus and love into building. She doesn't want to build it again. And she shouldn't have to. But someone wrecked it. He just came along and wrecked it with no regard for how she was going to feel. And her mom saying to her, what's the big deal? Just rebuild it, is really dismissing what this little girl needs. And I'm asking you, what do you think that little girl needs? If it was you, if it was me, comfort, acceptance of how I feel, which is grieving. And I know it's just a sandcastle, but to a little girl, it's not. It's not just a sandcastle. She's grieving, and she's mad, and she's sad, and she's hurt. And we can't just dismiss her. Sure, of course, logically, she can rebuild the castle. Nothing is getting in her way of doing it again. It'll probably be bigger and better and more beautiful, or not. But she doesn't want to. And in order to come to a space for her to want to build that castle again, it's not going to be through someone saying, suck it up, buttercup, get over it. Shit happens, move on. Life is rough. People are awful. You're just going to have to learn to deal with it. That's not going to help her get to a space where she feels motivated and passionate to rebuild that castle. In my heart, what is going to help her get to a place where she feels motivated and passionate and inspired to rebuild it is someone acknowledging her pain, and someone comforting her, and someone loving her through that and allowing her to be angry and allowing her to be sad and allowing her to grieve without judging her or dismissing her or belittling her. And for someone to say, yeah, it's okay. We're going to get through this. I can help you. Do you want me to help you build the castle? Maybe we can do it together. Connecting, love, a feeling of safety, a feeling of being cared for, a feeling of mattering. No matter how small that castle might seem to that mom. And so this sort of envisioning that I had last night of this little girl in the castle, it, I think, reflects back, not just to my friend, and I just love her for being that raw and vulnerable and letting that little inner child voice come through of, I don't wanna, I don't blame you for not wanting to. And I think of all these people who have been thrown out and have had their jobs taken from them, have had their businesses taken from them, or they've had to shut them down or, walk away because of everything that has unfolded. And like, what do those people need? They definitely don't need to be dismissed and forgotten and have people say to them like, you chose this, this is life. You're going to have to get over it, rebuild your castle. That's not helpful to those people. These people are grieving. And they deserve the same kind of acknowledgement and love and respect and kindness and compassion and comfort and connection and support that little girl did with her castle. So I share this because I want people to know who are out there grieving that not everyone has moved on and forgotten and is expecting you to just figure your shit out and get it back together. That there are people like myself and like my friend who, and many others, to be honest, many others who have not forgotten and who are acknowledging and doing our best to try to create that space of love and support and connection and acceptance and compassion to help you move through the chaotic, confusing, and so difficult space of grief, so that you can come to a space, so that you can move into a place internally, like inside, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, in your body, where you feel motivated and you feel inspired and passionate to rebuild your castle, not forced. And not forced because someone just says it's not a big deal, just rebuild it, what's the big problem? Or because people have forgotten and of course we have to figure something out. But actually cultivating a space where you can move through all of the grief so that you can feel really good about what you're rebuilding or building new. And that it holds the same heart and passion and love and inspiration that what you originally built did.